The American dream is now $5 million. Can you afford to miss Zebec? So we'll get into it here today, but as always, cue my guy Indigo Saint. Let's get it. Boom.
Let's get it. Indigo Saint in the building. Blackrue Investing. Let's go.
Who's this producer?
Best believe it was Blackrue Investing. With your money, you ain't gotta be guessing. Profits is what we manifesting. So we binge on that Blackrue Investing. Best believe it was Blackrue Investing. That course in this race, we ain't resting. We got stocks, we got crypto with a blessing. Thank God for that Blackrue Investing. Best believe it was Blackrue Investing.
Q affiliate partner, DCENT Wallet now.
Your crypto deserves the best protection. So why settle for less? DCENT Crypto Wallet isn't just another wallet. It's safe, secure, easy to use, and supports your favorite cryptocurrencies all at the touch of a button. And now with my exclusive link, you'll save $30 on your new wallet. Better security, smarter investing, $30 in your pocket. Click on the link now and secure your better security today.
I love DCENT Wallet. One of the best ways to help the channel is to buy a DCENT Wallet, $30 off for one, $99 off for two. One of the best things I like about it is you can swap within the wallet on the phone app. It's just perfect. Jake Claver recommends them. I have a great experience with my DCENT Wallet, and they came on the show. They did an AMA. Definitely want to check that out, especially if you're new to crypto. He breaks down why a wallet is the best choice over an exchange. So, let's get into this today. This is crazy when I saw this, guys. Like, the American dream is now $5 million. Can you even believe that? And this is up $600,000 from last year. That's how much money is inflating. This is how much the dollar is inflating at this point in time. So can you really afford to miss Zebec at this point? Like, let's get into it here. Let me share the screen and we'll go over a few different things here. Shout out to Black Tiger Miner. I was on his show, I believe it was yesterday or a day before yesterday. Definitely go over there and check out that show. I'll bring up his Twitter and his YouTube in just a second here, but let's get into this. Where is it? Okay, here it is. So the American dream now costs $5 million. Here's a breakdown. Okay, so retirement, 1.6 mil. Owning a home, 957K. And this is over a lifetime here. Owning a car, 900K. So I'm assuming they're saying, you're owning maybe more than one car. Maybe it's a car for you and your wife or you and your loved one. Maybe cars for the kids, 900K. Raising two children and paying for college, 876K. Yeah, probably so. Healthcare, 414K. And I was thinking about that too. And now with the laws that were put in place, you can't not have insurance anymore. Because back in the day, it used to be where you could just say, okay, well, I don't want the insurance. You have to have it now. Unless there's some way around that I don't know about. But yearly vacation, 180K. Pets, 39K. Wedding, 38K. All to the total of 5,043,000. That's craziness, guys. That's craziness. So looking at that in the space of Zebec, right? how can you afford to miss out on Zebec, right? Even if you were the person to say, and as always, guys, put your questions over on the side and we'll definitely get to them. I can see a lot of regulars in the house. What's up, Yazzie, Yair, Bay? We got a Bay in the house, y'all. Alex Liggins, Chris Cole, a member. John, a member. Appreciate you. Alex, Shizzle, 21. Charlie J, Salvador Ramirez. A lot of regulars in the house. Appreciate you guys. Sir Jaquez. Let's go, guys. Appreciate you. Kevin Garrett in the house. Patreon in the house. Patron in the house. Chris Cuts BX. What's going on? So, yeah, when I was looking at this, I'm like, there has to be something you can cut out, right? And even if you're like, okay, I'm going to cut out kids. I'm not going to have kids. And, you know, the birth rates have gone down. So a lot of people are opting for this, where they either have one or none kids in today's world, which is crazy to think about. There are more people with pets nowadays than there are children. Like, it's crazy. So even if you took out kids, right, that's still like 4 million and change. If you were to take out, like, I don't know, maybe not everyone goes on a yearly vacation, but I'm assuming this is over, like, so you said you spend like 10 or 12K every year for, you know, like 20 to 25 years. I can see you can get up to 180K, but even if you were to cut that in half, you're only saving yourself like 100K. Like, regular funds are cooked. The dollar is cooked. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, you really can't afford to miss cryptocurrency. This is my opinion. You know, not financial advice or anything like that. Just what I'm doing with my portfolio, how I feel with my portfolio. I feel like I can't miss Zebec. I can't miss Metallicus. I can't miss XRP. I can't miss these things. Or how am I? You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. Like, you're just simply not gonna make it. Man, so let's check out a video we had in Cybos, right? We went over this a little bit on Black Tiger Miner's channel. Let me bring up his X right quick. Guys, go ahead and take a visit to him and his channel here. You bring up BTM. So he'll be back on our show here on Tuesday. It seems like you guys really liked having Black Tiger Miner on, and the two guy dynamic we had there. So he'll be back on Tuesday. Definitely go check the live stream we did here 21 hours ago. It was a good live stream. It was a good live stream, by the way. I'm going to play one of the videos that we played in the live stream, and I'm really going to kind of break it down a little bit. So it'll be like, I'm not going to play it the whole way through. It will be a reaction. So that's going to happen. But definitely go check out his video. I'm not going to play everything or recreate everything that we did in that video. So definitely go over his channel, like and subscribe, and check out the video we did. So let's play this Cybos video, because I think it's very important when we talk about the future of Zebec and what Zebec has going on. So I'm going to skip a little ahead on it, because they do a little bit of an intro, and well, we'll hear their intro. We'll hear their intro. So let me share that tab, and I'll come out and make sure you guys can hear it. This is why stablecoins matter to us consumers. This is going to really put into perspective why you cannot afford to miss out on Zebec, okay? So in the conversation we're having about the whole, you know, American dream is now $5 million, this is going to make it really clear why Zebec is important, along with all the rest of the videos we have on the channel. But I feel like this is going to really make it clear why Zebec is important moving forward. So let's go ahead and play this and let me know if you guys can hear it.
rapid evolution of money from paper to digital and now to blockchain-based assets like stablecoins is reshaping how individuals and small businesses interact with commerce. Stablecoins promise faster, cheaper and borderless transactions, yet they also introduce new challenges related to trust, regulation and financial literacy.
And as countries adopt fragmented regulatory approaches and the privacy...
Okay, I see that volume is on 1,000. Yeah, see, I changed this because some people were saying that they couldn't hear me. Now volume's at 9,000 to quote the whole Vegeta and Dragon Ball theme there. So I'm going to try to just lower it a little bit because I do understand it is on like 9,000 out here. So now I'll lower it to this. Guys, let me know if that's good, and hopefully people will not have a problem with that. Okay, so I'm going to play it now, and hopefully this is not too loud.
Sector pushes innovation forward, understanding the real-world implications for end users becomes crucial. Now to discuss stablecoins in more detail, why they matter to consumers and the risks and rewards of integrating them into everyday financial activities like payments, we are joined by Ramesh Siramani, Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, Personal Banking at the Royal Bank of Canada. Ramesh, welcome to Cybox TV.
Thank you, Olivia, and thank you, Johnny. Thanks for having me here.
I'm going to ask a very simple question to kick off the discussion. What exactly are stablecoins and how do they differ from cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin?
Great question, and I think it's the topic du jour, stablecoins. Think of it as digital currency, right? So you have, like you mentioned, that there's cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. That's one form of digital currency. Stablecoin, as the name suggests, is a stable form of digital currency. So you have currencies which are crypto on the blockchain, which has all the elements and the things that make blockchain useful. And stablecoin is backed by fiat currency, like it could be a US dollar, it could be a euro, and that makes it stable and therefore pegged to a stable currency and called stablecoin, or it could be another form of creating stability, like an algorithm, which doesn't exist anymore, but that's what brings the stability to stablecoin.
So what are the practical use cases for stablecoin today for individuals or for small businesses?
So I think we have to go all the way back to the uses of blockchain and what makes that useful. So anything on a blockchain
So he just basically broke down, for anybody who might be new, he broke down, okay, stablecoins kind of usually backed by a certain fiat, like USDC is backed by US dollars, and it's a stable asset as opposed to Bitcoin or any other altcoin that's like volatile. Those are like volatile commodities, like the price of gold or the price of silver. In some sense, you could think of them as commodities that always have a fluctuating price. Oil, things like that. So stable coins come in and now they're pegged to $1. Okay.
Kind of has instantaneous clearing and settlement at the same time. It has programmability and so on. So when you
go back a little bit.
Way back to the uses of blockchain and what makes that useful. So anything on a blockchain kind of has instantaneous clearing and settlement at the same time. It has programmability and so on. So when you have a currency on the blockchain, it brings all the benefits of what we expect in a blockchain. So if you combine stablecoin with that, so you can imagine use cases like if you need to move money P2P, especially cross-border, where there's clearing and settlement mechanisms today which can be improved. This can make it a little more instantaneous. Or if you imagine like global trade, where small businesses need to move money back and forth between buyers and suppliers, you could see a form of stablecoin being used. Or
so he just broke down the biggest use cases of stablecoin: cross-border payments instantaneously. So instead of doing the whole thing like buying a house where you gotta wait 7 days and on the buyer side and wait 7 days on the seller side, it's instantaneous through blockchain technology. And then he's saying also business to business, doing business to business type of transactions or sender to receiver type of transactions a la Zebec that can be instantaneous and good too. So the first example, the whole cross-border thing example, was XRP. The next example he had, which was more sender receiver as far as like business to business or person to person or peer to peer, was Zebec. So I'm going to play that just one more time because it was a really good, succinct, clear breakdown.
So when you have a currency on the blockchain, it brings all the benefits of what we expect in a blockchain. So if you combine stablecoin with that, so you can imagine use cases like if you need to move money P2P, especially cross-border, where there's clearing and settlement mechanisms today which can be improved. This can make it a little more instantaneous. Or if you imagine like global trade where small businesses need to move money back and forth between buyers and suppliers, you could see a form of stablecoin being used. Or payroll, international payroll. There are people kind of working gig economy and workers globally. So you could see them kind of moving this money pretty quickly. So these are emerging use cases. There are existing forms of moving money which do the same thing pretty usefully. This makes it a little more instantaneous.
So why should the average consumer care about stablecoins? I'm talking, of course, about a lot of people watching this right now.
No, a very good question. I think if you take today what we have available in terms of you want to shop or you want to move money, you want to pay somebody, we have enough rails and existing systems and infrastructure to make that possible. What stablecoin does is actually evolves this into the future. So where you can see clearing and settlement systems being a little more efficient, a little more cost effective, a little more transparent. And if you see programmability, it can bring, use cases have to evolve where you say, I'm entering into a contract with you, and electronically, can we have a trigger to kind of make the payment as soon as you pass on the goods to me internationally? Or things that make it a little more, or for example.
So he just mentioned trade finance. As soon as you pass on the goods to me, trade finance, real world asset, whichever way you want to call it, it could be both, right? So we put in a smart contract trigger in which the moment you pay, you get the goods or you get the real world asset, period. End of story. So huge when you combine that thought with real world assets. So a whole bunch of triggers happening automatically through smart contracts, through AI agents, through whomever. And this could drastically speed up the world's purchasing and consuming, especially, and add more players to the field, especially when we talk about banking the unbanked. Since the fees are so low, you can now bank the unbanked, which I think people estimate there's like 3 billion people unbanked. So there we go.
In places where there is volatility of the currency, those people need to have a safe kind of haven currency where it could be a US dollar, it could be a euro, where they say, hey, I don't want volatility in my savings accounts, so can I keep it there? So there are some use cases evolving, but I think present forms of money and movement actually for the day-to-day customer is actually well served.
If a customer is offered to get paid in stablecoin, what should they be considering in that moment?
Great question. A few things. I think one, like I said, who's issuing the stablecoin? What is it backed by? The stability. What brings the stability to the stablecoin? What is the reserve behind it? It's very important to understand that and understand the issuer. Understand the regulation in your country, whether it's regulated. Is the deposit, if you're doing something in money, is it insured? What kind of tax liability would you kind of have? And what kind of infrastructure do you need to have as a person or as a small business? For example, you need a wallet to keep that currency. You need a custody player who kind of keeps custody of your money, and the infrastructure to kind of account for it, move it, etc. So those are the few things I would think an individual or a small business should consider.
So the issuer. So he said you need an issuer and you need like a custodian. Now, one of the things, and I'm going to need to go back and find this, it was one Zebec Spaces in which they said, okay, well, we have a certain license, and he was talking about like Zebec, right? where in order to conduct business, you're going to need this license. Otherwise, you can't conduct business, right? And think about the whole coexistence period of this messaging system. So as soon as 1122 hits, everybody has to be on the ISO 222 messaging system. Now, I could see long term, if you're not doing certain things, if you're not transacting through these stable coins, it may be that you can't conduct business with certain people, right? And we kind of already know that really with the SOC 2 compliance that Zebec has. Metallicus has it also. And they told us, well, certain companies won't even talk to you unless you have this compliance. So it really, really bodes well for Zebec being like the global partner of payroll as far as Deutsche Bank is concerned. That they have these licenses, they have these compliances. They're going to be head and shoulders above the rest. So why not invest in Zebec, right? But let's continue.
We've talked a lot about the benefits of stablecoins, but in your view, what are the risks and concerns with using stablecoins as a form of money?
I think, Olivia, this is a new form and it's evolving. We've just had the Genius Act in the US, MiCA in Europe, and a few other countries have introduced, like Hong Kong and Singapore, introduced regulations. So it's kind of evolving. So for a individual customer or a small business, they need to be careful about, hey, what's the regulation? How is it evolving? What do I consider, like I said before, in terms of tax and my personal kind of infrastructure and holding the money? So you need to be a little more careful about entering into, why do you actually need to do it? Is there other forms of payment? This morning we had Swift announce, getting into the ledger. So Swift has a great messaging system.
Okay, then Swift getting into the ledger, we're going to talk about that a little bit more after this, okay? Now, because I saw Rude Boy in the chat there, and he's like, what did Rude Boy say here? So we definitely want to talk about this. He said, XRP is scrambling for revenue since they lost Swift. We're going to get into that, because I don't think that they've lost Swift at all. And we'll get into that right after this, okay? So, again, we'll get right into this because that Swift announcement, a lot of people, I think, are going to think that XRP lost Swift, but they did not at all, period. But let's continue.
And if you combine that with the movement of money on the chain, that makes it powerful, right? So do you have existing forms that can take on what you need to do? So those are the few things that the customer needs to consider.
So where is this all heading, Ramesh? Can you see stablecoins becoming a mainstream part of how we all spend and save and more importantly, get paid?
Great question, Johnny. I think I was listening to your previous interview and where we're talking about a coexistence of many forms of payment. A form of payment to be really useful has to be, ease of use. It has to be trusted. And it has to be done at scale. So these things have to evolve. We are living in a time of inflection where you see in the next 4 or 5 years, rapid adoption. Adoption needs to get up to that level where people trust it. People know what they're getting into, who are the issuers, what are the regulation, and so on. So we need to see that happen. I think that it'll happen rapidly. You also see coexistence of traditional currencies, CBDC, like we talked about, and also some sort of stable coins across the globe.
You've already touched on this a little bit, but let's press on further. What does the regulatory landscape look like for stable coins, and are you optimistic for how it will eventually develop?
I think the Genius Act in the US, MiCA in Europe, I think it's started to bring in that certainty around regulation. It needs to evolve further. For example, in Canada, where I come from, we are still kind of waiting for regulatory clarity around this. So what it'll do is give certainty to customers about, hey, is this somebody you can trust? Is this a reserve? What makes it a reserve kind of coin? What kind of reserves do you need to make it stable? For example, you need to kind of invest it in treasuries or keep it in cash. What makes that stability? Who's a custodian who can be trusted? Do they get registered by the central bank? Like, what form of kind of security do you kind of gain from that?
So the custodian has to be registered by the central bank. This is interesting. So this could get into that kind of law or that piece of whatever it was. I gotta go back and find it. That this guy was saying, Zebec has this, and businesses are gonna have to come to us because they're gonna have to if they want to conduct business. Now it may be that as a custodian, you have to register with the central bank or have certain credentials from the central bank to perform certain actions. And if you don't, well, you can't conduct business, or at least as a bank or anyone that's like a money lender, you can. And in a certain sense, we already have that. You have to have like a money lender license, but this is going to be specifically tied to stablecoins and this system.
So those are sort of things an individual customer needs to keep in mind. I think regulation is catching up, more to come.
So where do you see the role of central banks and central bank digital currency, CBDCs, in this evolving ecosystem?
The big difference is the stable coin is issued by either a bank, FI, or a non-FI under regulations, right? Under the regulations of each country, whereas a stable coin is issued by the central bank. I think they will coexist.
Stablecoin issued by the central bank. Okay, now you know what I mean. So if you're not conducting business in the central bank issued stablecoin, you may not be able to conduct business, right? And if Zebec has the jump on this, which it seems like Zebec does, then holy freaking cow! Like Zebec. There's going to be no stopping it because you're going to have to come through Zebec or somebody like Zebec who has a central bank issued stablecoin, or otherwise you're not going to be able to conduct business the way you want to conduct business, or you're not going to be able to conduct business with certain players, right? And to me, it was eye-opening and stuff like that to hear him say that, knowing all the stable coins that Zebec has behind it.
There's some sort of need for CBDCs. There's a need for stablecoin, and the current forms of payment provide all the necessary things that a customer needs. So we see this as an evolving ecosystem with all three.
And just a final question to wrap up. What should a...
Now, he did say that it'll be an evolving ecosystem with all three, but I would tend to think out over time, things like cash and stuff like that would probably fade out. I mean, in America, it definitely is faded out. Like, everybody uses their phone and Apple Pay, and they connect their debit card to their phone, and they just tap. So, more and more, I think that cash will just fade away. Because if you're using the stablecoin is going to directly be traced to the central bank. So now everything you do with your phone as your wallet is going to be, all of that is going to be tracked and traced, and possible to be tracked and traced, right? So eventually, I think the cash part of that will eventually end up fading out, and we can already see that here in America.
Small business be aware of if they're actually asked to accept payments in stablecoins?
A wonderful question. I think, like anything else, the counterparty risk, whether it's stablecoin or any other currency, who's the other party? What kind of, knowing your customer on the other side, or kind of are they following AML and other regulations, volatility of the currency being offered to you, the tax implications, making sure you have infrastructure to accept currency, making sure you have the ability to invoice in stable coins. Those are the sort of things the small business needs to take into account.
Well, Ramesh, it's been great to have you. Thanks for breaking that all down for us. I hope you do enjoy the next few days here in Frankfurt. That's Ramesh Shiramani, Executive Vice President.
That last part
Operating
was important as far as Zebec goes too. Make sure you have the ability to invoice in stablecoins, which we know Zebec is getting together with Assure, and possibly also with ADP.
Knowing your customer on the other side, or kind of are they following AML and other regulations?
And we know that's embedded into Zebec with GateKnox, the AML and the Know Your Customer.
Volatility of the currency being offered to you, the tax implications, making sure you have infrastructure to accept currency, making sure you have the ability to invoice in stablecoins. Those are the sort of things the small business needs to take into account.
Well, Ramesh, it's been great to have you here. Thanks for breaking that all down for us. I hope you do enjoy the next few days here in Frankfurt. That's Ramesh Shiramani, Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, Personal Banking at the Royal Bank of Canada. Thanks again, pal.
Thank you very much.
So he basically laid out how, well, you're going to have to use Zebec if you're invoicing, stable coins, you got to use them. If you want to transact business with certain people with the SOC 2, you're going to have to use them. NBA season, like you guys are saying, is going to tip off here in 20 days. Like, this might be the last time we see Zebec at these prices. Like, I know people say that all the time, but think of all the catalysts we have coming up. We have ISO for the rest of the world coming up November 22nd. We got all these XRP ETFs. We know there's some connection there with Zebec and Ripple. The NBA season's about to start. The NHL season's about to start. Both of those leagues are hinted at in this in the Zebec commercials. We just had a deal with Deutsche Bank naming Zebec as the global payroll partner for all of Deutsche Bank with the All Unity stablecoin. Man alive, it's looking really, really good here. So one of the things we looked at a couple, on the BTM, on the show with BTM, was the rich list. Let me bring that rich list up right quick. Stop sharing there. And then we will, where is it? Share screen, entire screen. So the Zebec rich list is here. So Leviathan is 10 million plus. Whale is between 5 and almost 10 million. Shark is between 200K and almost 5 million. Stingray is 100K to 200K. Sea turtle 50K to almost 100K. Clownfish 10K to almost 50K, and Seahorse anything under 10K. But think about this, right? If Zebec with all the sports betting, they have all this buyback happening because it's definitely going to get dinged. It's definitely going to be, if these are on Zebec cards, if they, however they do it with the Zebec cards where a transaction gives you buyback. Maybe once you make the sports bet on Uphold, if you want to pull out your money, you're gonna have to do it on you're gonna have to pull it off on a Zebec card. Okay, so this has the potential, right? And then they say, well, you got the Zebec card, you can use the Zebec card to, do payroll on it. You know what I mean? So if you want your bet winnings, you got to get this Zebec card, and it'll go on your wallet or it'll go, in your Uphold account, however the heck they work that. But, that's built-in buybacks for Zebec, right? For all of these 6 teams, how much buyback do you think they can get for the end of the year? I don't know, but it could be crazy. We got the whole thing with the science card, what they're doing with the universities. hey, I might have to raise my prediction from 10 to 20 cents if all of this kind of falls in line, right? We have to see what they say once the NBA season starts and things like that. But it's very possible that maybe 20 cents, or if everything falls in line. Shout out to Digital Nomad Investor. He was in here in our show a couple days ago, and I know he had like a projection 2025 from 50 cents to $1. Maybe who could it happen? Could. But given what we just saw about the American dream, would you want to be a shark here in this rich list? If you can get to, 5 million Zebec, which is right now it's at 0.004. So I think $4,000 is like $1 million. So at this point, you would have to do, well, let's just say that you did 2.5 million. So at this point, 10K is 2.5, around 2.5 million. Yeah, that seems right. 10K is around 2.5 million. So would you want that? I mean, I don't know. It seems very clear to me here that that's something you might want. Not financial advice or anything like that. Just sharing what I'm doing with my portfolio. Seems like that might be something that's desirable out here. Now let me go back to what the American Dream costs again for people who might not have seen that, and then let me get to some comments here before we go into the Swift thing. Yazid in the house. What's up, Chris Cuts BT? What's up, Chris Cuts BX? Let's get it. What's up, Scotty? Big Zebec X. Let's go. I like the name change, brother. What's up, Alex Liggins? Let's go. Ruel, drop it like it's hot. 10 cents to freedom. Let's go. What up, Root Crew? What up, fam? Zebec for the win. Yeah, unfortunately, 1 million just isn't enough. No. For a quarter, we ball. Yeah, let's go. Fizzle, what's up? Ruby, thanks for all your valuable information straight out of California. Hey, what's up, Cali Salvador? Appreciate it, brother. 1K XRP equals 10 million in 5 years. I mean, I sure hope so, Sir Jacques. I'm one of the guys that is not like sell your XRP. I'm not one of those people at all. So I got some XRP, and I would be a very, very happy man if 1K XRP would equal 10 million in 5 years. I'd be very happy. Very, very, very happy. Okay, so now let's get into some of this Swift conversation. So this is kind of going off of what Rude Boy was saying here. Did we even get down to that comment yet? Nope. But he was speculating Ripple lost their partnership with what was going on with Swift because of this. And shout out to Ship Focus, and shout out to, oh man, I gotta find her name who shared this. Here, just give me a second. I like to give credit where credit is due, so many people don't. Shout out to Joy Lariano. Let me say Lariano. I'm going to say Lariano. Shout out to Joy Lariano for sharing that information. Really appreciate you, Joy. And shout out to Ship Focus for responding and putting it on my radar. So Swift, and this was done September 29th, 2025. Swift to add blockchain-based ledger to its infrastructure stack, and groundbreaking move to accelerate and scale benefits of digital finance across more than 200 countries and territories worldwide. Excuse me. Swift and a group of more than 30 financial institutions globally will develop a shared digital ledger with initial focus on real-time 24/7 cross-border payments. Swift will work with Consensus, the Ethereum people, on a conceptual prototype of a ledger which will leverage Swift's unmatched resiliency, security, and scalability to facilitate transactions using any form of regulated tokenized value. So people might take this to mean, well, Swift is not working with Ripple. And I would say that's not true. And why I would say that's not true, if you look at the list of banks that are doing this. First of all, you got Deutsche Bank, you got Bank of America, you got Santander, you got BNY. All of these different banks have connections to the ISO 20022 tokens. So if we go look up on CryptoRank.io right now, we'll see that XRP has connections to Santander. So funds and backers for XRP, we see Santander right there. Okay. You see if we see any others, we got SBI. But yeah, we get Santander right there. We already know they're connected to BNY Mellon too, but let's just take Santander, right? Because it's right here and it's easy. Santander, right? So you don't think that Santander is not going to use XRP to do what they need to do? They're definitely going to use XRP. Let me get back over here. So Santander is one, right? Let me go back. And then let's go back to the Swift thing. We know BNY Mellon is another. We know Bank of America has been telling us for a while that they're partnered with XRP. We know Shinhan Bank is partnered with Hedera. If we bring them up. So anybody looking at this and thinking like these cryptocurrencies are going to be cut out, I don't think that that's the case. You can see here Standard Bank and Shinhan Bank for Hedera. In no way are they being cut out. And if we go back here, if you want to see Deutsche Bank, we know Deutsche Bank. We know they're with XLR. We also know they're with Stronghold, which we'll bring up and show you. XLR, Deutsche Bank, MasterCard, Microsoft, Onyx by JP Morgan. So there's JP Morgan. Let's bring up Stronghold, which we know is very connected to XRP and what XRP does. Scroll down. Go to the About Us. And who do they say they worked with? Well, JP Morgan Chase, Deutsche Bank, and others. EY is a good one, of course. Y Combinator, they worked with the Coinbase initially. Here's Coinbase. And of course, there's Stellar, NYU, and Yale. Okay, so all these different banks are going to use these different cryptocurrencies that I just told you about. So we also know Mizuho through that article that I keep showing you guys about how they collaborated with R3 Corda, right? I show you guys that article almost daily now. Mizuho and SBI trial cross-border payments utilizing blockchain technology. This is from 2016. And if you scroll down, they already say that they're working with Ripple, and that Ripple has global network includes 12 of the top 50 global banks. So this, in my mind, in no way says that Ripple is just cut out and they're done. We already knew that Swift was, they work with Chainlink. We already know that Chainlink works with Ripple with like pricing, giving them price updates and stuff like that. So nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. But they just put it in a way where people might suspect that things have changed. So I don't know. I'd love to know what you guys think about that. But for me, you don't have all these banks here without kind of basically tipping that, hey, anyone that works with these banks, we're pretty much working with them. So let me continue on in the comments here. Okay. What's up? Very good. Yes, sir. I've done hours and hours of research. Trust me. The mic is modulating a bit, audio peaking. Okay. We'll turn it down just a little bit there. The same people who created XRP created BTC. 100%. 100%. Audio is enough, brother. All right, good. I think we're good. Oh, I got my 5 million ZBCN. Let's go, Draper. Honestly, about to sell my BTC and buy more Zebec. Might take a loan out to buy more Zebec. Rude boy, 1 million goes a long way in the Philippines. 100%, Rude boy, 100%. Rude, do you think Zebec can get higher than 10 cents this bull run with the multiplier effect? It could. If the sports betting, like, it depends on how they're gonna do it. If they do it like, okay, well, it's done through Uphold, and you got to use your Zebec card to cash out kind of thing, I could see that just inflecting a lot of different, users to Zebec almost instantly. I can see them doing something like that. And then saying, okay, well, you can also use this for payroll somehow. Now, how they're going to do the payroll piece to connect it in there, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe they can say, well, you got your card now. You can do direct deposit on your card. And if you work with, certain people, you can get it, streaming. I don't know. We shall see how they work that. But, yeah, basically for me, I'm beyond 10 cents right now. I'm at 20. Like, if this rolls out and it rolls out right, and it gets all the different card holders, we think, with the sports betting, and the sports betting brings all the different revenue, 20 cents might be possible. Like for real possible. So let's see here. Let's see. I have 3 million Zebec, but I think this is the token that's going to go to moon and want to stack more fast. Yes, indeed. The back will go, and Sir Jacques is even more bullish than I am. 25 cents for short, Sir Jacques. Volume is on 1,000. What's up, Hypnotic Music? And also the Common Sense Crypto channel mentioned in the video yesterday, XRP is also doing payroll. Do you know if this is tied to Zebec? Well, I don't know why they would want to do payroll. Again, maybe it is tied to Zebec and they're offering the product because you can do white labeling. That's possible too. Like the LCX Pay card. I'm pretty sure that LCX is using white labeling. They didn't design it themselves. I'm pretty sure they're either using Metallicus or Zebec for their LCX pay card. So it could be, but I would not think that XRP would want the what do you call it? The deflationary part, which we went over in the video a couple days ago. Definitely check out the video that we did a couple days ago. What is it called? Let me pull it up. In which we talked about the fact that XRP is deflationary. So maybe they might use it for payroll, but they for darn sure aren't going to use it for sports betting, because that will be way too many transactions. So check out our video from a couple days ago, or actually was that yesterday? Or it was either yesterday or the day before yesterday. Zebec and Swift partnership. It says Select and Swift Global Payment Clearinghouse Partnership. Okay, so definitely check that out. In that, we talk about the fact that XRP is deflationary. So let me continue down here. So no, I don't know if that's tied into Zebec, but maybe they want it for people that are like, well, I only feel comfortable with XRP. Okay, well, let me white label Zebec, tell people, to use this through XRP, and it's still going to go through the Zebec system. Ruboy, Zebec, 10 cents minimal in 2025. What's up, Paul? Andrew, I can hear it. XRP is scrambling for revenue since they lost Swift. But see, yeah, they didn't lose Swift. They did not lose Swift. I know, and also David Schwartz stepped down, and it's going to look like, and people can try to say, well, look, David Schwartz stepped down. Did he step down because they lost out on the deal and they replaced him? Nah, he's been working there 13 years, and 13, that's a symbolic number of a lot of stuff. Jesus and his 12 disciples. The number 13, that's a really big number. So I think that's a little bit symbolic that he's been working there 13 years and then stepped down. People are going to try to make that into that, oh, they lost out on the deal, so Schwartz quit. I think they're trying to do everything they can possibly do to have people get rid of their XRP, but don't fall for the fake. Don't fall for the fake, especially if you've been holding this long, like a lot of people have been holding. Right? We're like right at the doorstep, like seriously right at the doorstep. It would be a shame for people that fall, like, see this announcement, sell, and be hurt in like 3 months. It'd be crazy, but not financial advice. Do what you want there. They didn't lose with my guy. LOL. Louder the better. No partnership. It used to be low, but now it's peaking. It's all a distraction. Yep. That started that comment. It is all a distraction, right? And just like I've been saying here lately, like certain influencers making certain comments, like trying to make people sell their XRP, even if it is for Zebec. Like, I don't think people should be selling their XRP. Why would you do that? It's like gold. Why would you sell your XRP? That makes no sense to me. Again, I always reference to people, go check out the video my guy Maximus, Jesse from Apex Crypto Consulting, and Smoke did. It basically really shows you that XRP can be unlimited liquidity. It has the potential to be unlimited liquidity. Why would you ever sell that? Like, at this point, and I know I'm going to piss off the Bitcoin maxis. At this point, I'm really more high on XRP than I am Bitcoin at this point. I just really am. And I just am. Smoke has showed documentation in which XRP is older than Bitcoin, even though we know XRP has the better technology as far as like it's faster. Yeah, man, it's at this point I don't know why people would sell their XRP, especially knowing like all the Trump connections to XRP. It would be insanity to do that right now, in my opinion. Let's see here. Banned. So the video I'm going to show you, and put in the chat, was banned off of YouTube, right? Now there's certain things you can't talk about on YouTube that are true that YouTube will take down, right? I don't want to mention those things, but you know, it is what it is. Certain things that are true get taken off of YouTube, and even in a mainstream media type of way, they did admit that the Biden administration did actually censor stuff. They've admitted that now, so that's even mainstream, right? So so there are things that were truths that were censored from YouTube. Now, this was not even anything controversial. This was just them mentioning information, just giving information on XRP, and it was banned. Now, I know Max makes the comparison to Edward Farina, but Edward Farina was talking about things that were questionable, especially questionable under the Biden administration, right? That YouTube has kind of banned before. Max and Smoke and Jesse were just talking about XRP, and that got banned. So that's that's the level of video that this is. Like everyone should be watching it. Let me don't play. Okay, let me go ahead and give you guys the link. I'll put it in the video chat, in the chat here. Whoops, let me show you where it is. So I went to Maximus's Twitter, and I went to the little looking glass, the little hourglass, or whatever you call these, eyeglass, and put it in banned, and it pops right up. But if you need the link, it'll be in the chat here. So let me put that in there for you guys. So if it's not painfully clear that people kind of want you to get that XRP up out of your hands, it should be. So much so that they would ban this video of people just giving you information. Of people just giving you information. Okay? So, and I remember, like, Max called me that day. He was like, man, the video has only been out 8 hours and it's already up to, like, it was something crazy for a crypto video, like 15K or something like that views. So they had to stop that real quick. So, you know, FYI, you do yourself a favor by going and check it out. It's only like a 30-minute video. So I'm a top 350 holder since 0.0009, holding every single one till at least 10 to 20 cents. Steve Mariano, let's go. That's crazy. That's crazy. Brett reposted the stream. Thank you. Appreciate it. And then you say they got NDAs. Yep. XRP and Zebec has NDAs. Your video media is fine. Is your mic that used to be too low? Okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. We only turned the video down a little bit, so I think we're okay with that. Next time I'll remember though that I can turn the video that I'm playing's up volume to the max. But thank you guys for this. I appreciate it. Joseph Ray, what up everyone? First time in, stacking my ZBCN bag as much as I can. And definitely guys, like and subscribe if you haven't already. definitely we're trying to get to 8,000 subs. Let me see where we're at right now. We're at 7,748. So we're knocking on 8,000 subs door. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get it. ZBCN hit $1 in time. Patience. Stop taunting me, ZBCN. Remember that, smash that like, guys. Definitely. Thank you, Red McIntyre. What's up, Jeffrey Dahmer's for fucking Ranger? Yo, Ruel. It's tough not to flip ZBC into XRP, but it's going to be good in the next 12 to 36 months. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. The Zebec XDC partnership would be grand. Yes, it would. If they announce, because they still haven't told us anything about Swift yet. So it'd be interesting if they announce something with Swift or they announce something with XDC and our 3/4. That would be amazing. But we shall see. I'm stacking both. Yeah, I'm stacking that as well. I'm stacking XDC. I'm stacking ZBCN. I'm also stacking XRP. I hear you both are good, but boredom can make people do irrational things. Yes, indeed. Bring on Poptober. Hey, like-minded agreement and explanation. What's up, Rise Above? And yep, that's another point there. 20022 is the best way to pronounce it, in my humble opinion. But also, I noticed that we were talking about, and I totally forgot of this last night. We were talking about on Black Tiger Miner's channel. There was a company that came up, and their name was Six, right? And they were talking about banking and all this other stuff. I completely forgot that it's ISO 20022. It's 3 2s that add up to 6. So I forgot all about that last night as we were talking about the number 6 and what's going on with banking and things like that, right? Back at it, ZBCN gaining traction. Let's go, fam. What's up, E? He's our moderator in our Telegram. NBA tips off 10/21. Thank you, Alex Liggins. That's going to be nice. What's up, Delta Go Zero? ZBCN crew. What's up, Charmizzle 21? Alex Liggins just say ISO, you know the thing, right? Let's go. What's up, Mark Pilra? 4.5. I love crypto. Only the smart ones make money. The rest are exit liquidity. That's crazy. That's crazy right there, bro. Brad told me about Zebec and O2 said it would approach $2. Brad, you guys are killing me in the chat, bro. What's up, Joseph Ray? One love. What's up, El Matatan? What's up, brother? Blessings, no problem. I see here $9.99 super chat from Terrell. 504. Appreciate you, Terrell. Can't go wrong with Zebec and the good brother Rue. Smash that like button. Let's go. Appreciate it, brother. Okay, they won't let me click on it right now, but I'll bring it up when I come to it. Joe Ray, Girly House. Let's see. 2 to 5 million is the perfect amount. If we hit 25 cents, I'm selling part of my bag and playing with house money. There we go. Bugatti 11, what up? Ain't no party like a Ruru party because a Ruru party don't stop. Let's go. Let's go out here, man. ZBC into $1. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get it. That one, goddamn. Well, damn. ZBCN is a massive. If you can't see it, you shouldn't be in crypto. Just saying. Just saying. Zebec is about to be spicy on the 15-minute test of daily highs inbound. Shout out to the Patreon. We were just talking about some moves that we were going to make. The Patreon, if you want to get the most direct access to me, I post in there almost daily in our chat room in the Patreon. So definitely you want to go to the Patreon if you want to get direct access. Also in the Patreon, I have, if you want to do like a monthly chat with me, that tier is available. But also available with the Patreon is an open mic night. Almost every week we have the open mic night. This week we'll have it on Friday, and it's going to be a fun time. So let's go ahead and, what was I trying to bring up? I was trying to bring something up. I can't remember. Oh, the price chart. So let's bring that up here. On the weekly, Zebec is looking so juicy right now. So freaking juicy. Like, Zebec, XRP, a lot of things are looking really juicy on the weekly. This is some of the stuff that we talk about in the Patreon and things like that. I'll just show you the Zebec chart for right now. This is crazy stuff. Look at this weekly chart, just juicy on the stochastic RSI. Look at it, so oversold, ready to really perk up here. And if it perks up to the tune of 10 to 12, and a lot of people are saying, "Hey guys, we haven't even had an alt run yet." If that's true, that we haven't had an alt run yet, because we had, when Donald Trump got into office, we had the ISO coins go up 10x. So XRP went from like 55 cents all the way to like 350. So that was like a 10x. So yeah, like a 10x. I think that's like a 10x. We're close to, from like 30 cents. If you want to go back all the way over here, I can bring up Hedera too and show you the same thing. A lot of ISO coins went basically 10x'd. Let's go bring up HBAR real quick. There we go. That's the one. That's a new one. Okay, there we go. So I'm not sharing it. Sorry. So went from 4 cents all the way up to 40. That's a 10x there. With HBAR, same thing with XRP. Like from around 30 cents all the way up to 350. And Zebec here on the stochastic is looking mighty juicy. Mighty juicy. Right here. Just looking really crazy juicy on the stochastic RSI. Now, if it goes up 10x from here, we got 4 cents. If it goes up a little bit beyond 10x from here, like people are saying, we haven't even hit the real alt run yet, and it goes up 20x, and we get to, 5 cents, 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents, man, forget about it. So let's continue here. Zebec is the easiest pick in crypto this cycle. I heard ODP, Circle, Payroll, the personal connections, they seem chosen for sure. It's easy to see. They got something they all need. Crypto bullish. This is so much better tech than XRP. Not to mention that they are crooks and criminals. That's why the SEC sued them in the first place. I don't know that they're crooks and criminals, especially if you think of David Schwartz being the person who created Bitcoin, because he possibly is. And even in his goodbye speech, he mentions that he worked with the NSA. So there's that. You know what? This is speculation on my part. So since you brought it up, I think they really stopped XRP and Bitcoin for, like, it went way too fast. It went way faster than they thought it was going to go. And they had to stop that immediately, or it was going to mess up the dynamics of fiat. So they had to stop it. And, if you go back even before then, I think people figured out what XRP was. This is why I think they have the escrow, by the way. I think, and I just closed it. So this document that I keep bringing up from Mizuho Bank. If you see this document from Mizuho, right, and you're a smart and intelligent person, because this is before they did. I think this is before they did the escrow. If you're a smart and intelligent person and you know what they're trying to use XRP for, you probably go grab it at this point. You're probably like, I'm grabbing as much as I can. And if enough smart, intelligent people got enough of it and they're protected enough people, you created a problem for XRP at this point. So they're like, damn, now we got to buy this back from them at this type of cost. No, we can't have that happen anymore. We need to create like an escrow or something like that, because there are too many people who bought it, and now we got to buy it back from them. No, we can't have that. So to me, I think that was the real reason why they created the escrow, because people started figuring out what was going on with XRP, and they started gobbling it up to a point where it was like, okay, if certain amounts of people got together and controlled a certain amount of it, it would F up our plan. So no, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to create an escrow, and we're going to hold like 50 to 60 billion of it so people can't F up our plan. That's why they have the escrow. Not because they're dumping it on people. They have the escrow because for people to not F up their plan. Now, if that, and this is speculation on my part, now if that's true, and Stronghold went out and did the same thing, what do you think is going to happen to the price of Stronghold? Right? Like, hey, we can't have people going out buying so much Stronghold that they F up our plan. So we're just gonna escrow 60 billion of it, because we can't have it. We can't have too many people going out and effing up our plan. So we're just gonna automatically we're just gonna take that off the market. Think about that. So that's why I think XRP has the escrow. That's also why Stronghold has the escrow. And that's also, in a certain sense, why we have these spot ETFs. You're putting these assets in the hands of the most strong, rich entities in our world. BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, ARK Invest, Wisdom Tree, all of this. That's again why we have like the ETFs, and again that's why, as far as stocks go, the S&P 500, they're in the hands mostly of BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, right? The most 500 of the most valuable companies in the world are in their hands as far as ownership through the stock market. So if you look at that and you think about that and you understand that, then XRP has to be valuable. They went through the trouble of grabbing 50 billion of it to say, we're going to just take this so you don't F up our plan. That's what I think they did for. So again, I think people are looking at the 50 billion thing in the wrong way. They're looking at it as, well, Ripple dumps on us every month. No, Ripple took that 50 billion off so like people couldn't go and F up their plan. That's why they took that 50 billion of XRP off the market and put it in escrow, so they can make sure it was exactly where they wanted it, and nobody could form their own cabal, if you will, or their own group and say, hey, let's go control 51% of the supply. So yeah, they basically stopped the 51% attack by going and picking up 50 billion of it themselves. Okay? So they went out and they protected their network by grabbing 50 billion of it. Right? So again, that's kind of speculation on my part, but that's why I think they did it. Uphold, come on, this thing is going to get real hyped. 444 watching. Gotta love that number. Joe, Ray, that's most people, that sounds crazy. Most people don't believe me. XRP will hit 1K very fast. Let's go. Hey, I hope so. And again, think about all these things that they're setting up right now. It seems like they wanted to hit 1K, or they wanted to hit something fast, because they're offering all these different, what do you call them? They're offering all these different derivative things, or all these different things that are giving you some money back on your XRP, and they're locking it up for a certain term, right? Maybe that's because they figured out, hey, if it does go to a high amount fast, we don't want a certain amount of people to sell. So let's just offer like 2% interest and have people lock it up for a certain amount of time. And we can do that through companies that we know and we trust, like DCENT Wallet, Doppler Finance, Flare, Metallicus. We only want a certain amount of people selling, so we'll go lock it up in certain, we'll have it locked up for a little bit for a certain amount of people, and if the rest of them sell, we don't care. We're fine. So, this is just speculation on my part, though. That I just remembered in the interview where Blad was talking about real-time payroll. I found ZBCN on accident, and I thought it was it. And I bought a big bag at point 0.0096. So glad that I did. Joseph Ray, really, I'm glad I bought ZBCN too. It's one of the things I was most convicted in after I really understood what it was, and I went in heavy, right? And I still don't think I went in heavy enough. And I'm definitely on the top of some list, right, that I showed. So I still don't think I went in heavy enough. Zebec is becoming the Debo of payments. Star that. That's good right there. Say it again, bro. I know that we all are blessed. I like to retire in the Philippines. Hey, if it's as high as everybody says that these things are going to be, yeah, your boy might have a house, a couple different places out here. Philippines will be one of them. December 2025, what will be ZBCN's price? What's up, Pinot Q? Hey, let's say 15 cents. How about that? It'd probably be something esoteric, some number that has an esoteric meaning. Like 15 is one of those numbers, by the way. So something like 15, 18. Like, we'll have to look into ZBCN's future, or in some of their documentation, and see which number means the most to them. But I could see something like 15 or 18 cents, right? Or something like, since it's ISO 20022, maybe 32 cents or something like that, or 23 cents. I could see something like that. I like to retire anywhere. I feel you. XLM is being used in the Philippines. Paul Andrew. Hey, people know that investor. I was just talking about the numbers you shared with us a little while ago. I appreciate you being here, brother. TK Brad G is only recently mentioning payroll streaming. That isn't something they talked about before. Any updates on ISO 222 progress for Zebec? I was hearing it was supposed to happen this month. Not sure. Well, it's a lot of reason to think that they already have it because they had the wage link. They have the wage link program, and they say that the wage link is compliant. So it's a lot of thought to think that they may already have it, even though they're waiting for like the kind of ceremonial announcement. They've always said WageLink is compliant. WageLink is compliant. So we shall see when they'll announce it, but they probably already have it, to be honest with you. XLM mentioned getting into payroll as well. Well, you know, XLM has all these different, like if we bring it up, they got all these different exchanges and things that they're connected to. Remember, Stellar is also a partner of Zebec, by the way. And a lot of these different things that they're connected to, these exchanges. Let's see, we got Wisdom Tree, PayPal, USD, Circle, MoneyGram, Bridge, a Stripe company. We know Stripe is an investor in Stellar, Fireblocks, Franklin Templeton. All of these things Zebec is also connected to. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Let me see if I can bring it up. Ecosystem projects, is it? Okay, yeah, so they have so many exchanges there. Like, so just the highlighted partners, MoneyGram, Circle, Franklin Templeton. But you could go through this list and find so many. Allbridge, Anchorage, Anchor, the other Anchor, Aquarius, APS. There's just so, like, you could go through this list and find so many, right? So many. Bybit. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Okay, it looks like you can. This is just a huge list of people that we could go through here. Coin One, CoinInspect, CoinTigo. Crypto.com. Just so many. We could go like crazy going through all of these. There's 464 results. I don't know. We want to go through them all. Let's just do payments. Just payments. PayScript, Ping, Send It, Stellar Pay. So they got a Stellar Pay. So yeah, they got a Stellar Pay. Everyone will probably have their own little payment app, like a Stellar Pay or something like that. But I'm sure it could be that the whitelisted. It could be a white labeled. I should say, it could be white labeled ZBCN behind that. Because remember, they're big partners with Circle. So Stellar has Stellar Pay, and it might just be white labeled ZBCN. Okay, so let's get out of here. Go back to the chart. and keep it over here. Okay. Okay, 12%, 12.3%, which is another 6 there. 10 to 25 cents on the low end. Almost 30%, 25 to 50. 21% kind of moderate here. 50 to $1. High 13.8, above $1.23. Or I'm sorry, $1 point 23 cents. Okay, so and then other 10 cents. Oh, that came through a little weird. So basically, 13% above $1, about 13 to 14% above $1, 21% between 50 cents and $1, 30% 25 cents to 50 cents, and on a low end 10 cents to 25 cents. Okay. And the other okay, so yeah, that's the case. RLL, this guy is a okay, Steven. We'll go ahead and just give you the ban. I'm not getting paid by them, bro. Perhaps you don't know how those things work, but I'll just give you the ban. The way that things work when people get paid by a company, they're in the coin before it's even launched, and then they'll start pumping it to their people, and they've had private investing of it, right? I can name some coins which certain creators have done and gotten into, and then a lot of times something will happen where people then start dumping, and they're like, oh, I don't know what happened, and all this other stuff and stuff like that. And, I don't know. So usually when it comes to different things like this, it's private. Like, people get into it before the public even has access to the coin. I got into ZBCN. Anybody could have gotten into ZBCN when I got into ZBCN. I've been holding my ZBCN, and I believe in ZBCN. And I've given you tons and tons of information on ZBCN. Make your own decision. Sell right now if you want to. This is a retail-driven coin. It's not going to matter to me if you sell. If it's not clear to you, given their Deutsche Bank partnership, they're global. So if you want to go ahead and sell and miss out, that's up to you. But I'm good with my investment, and everybody make your own decision. There we go. So just Ray, I love these numbers. Why do you think really good projects with 350 market cap and tons of partnerships and adoption have sub 1 cent prices, but other projects with smaller market caps have higher prices over 10 to 20 cents? Well, a lot of that has to do with the tokenization. ZBCN, they went and they changed their tokenization to fit XRP's tokenization. The reason I think they did that is because they realized if they were going to do things like sports betting, they really were going to need something like a buyback program. They were really going to churn through a lot of coins with the buyback and things like that, for if they were going to do something like micropayments, right? So when they kind of redid their tokenomics, they really figured that out. Just like the fact that XRP is deflationary, they're saying at a certain point, XRP, just by the fact that it's deflationary, is going to reach a high value. Okay. That's another reason too. I think they have the escrow in place, because if I ever got to a point where XRP was burned through to really high level, now they can empty more of the escrow and start doing things and get the price under to a point that they want the price at. So that's another reason why they have the escrow, because XRP is deflationary and they can't necessarily control how much people are going to go out there and spend. They probably have projections on how much people will spend XRP. But if it happened to go to a point where it was faster than what they thought, they can do things with the escrow to get the price manageable to a way that they want the price to be manageable. So, the short answer to your question is tokenomics is the reason why that is. And I'm sure too, everybody jokes around about it's not really a joke, but they talk about bots being out there. I definitely do believe that there are bots out there controlling the prices of certain coins, like things like Hedera, right? Hedera gets all this great news, but the price of the Hedera coin will stay in a certain spot. I think that's true with XRP. I think that's true with Hedera. I do think there are certain bots out here controlling the price of it, until they want it to become at a high price. So now that all of this ISO stuff is in place, I believe now they will quote unquote allow it to go to a bigger price. And there are certain things, everything I say is alleged. Like, you can see that happens. Like, remember if you were around for when XCN went up really high and then kind of came down, there was some stuff where Justin Sun came out and made some accusations that turned out to be false, but it drove the price down, right? So they're bots, but at the same time, certain things happen where the price gets under control, if you know what I mean. So there are times in which the prices, I do believe, from retail get a little bit out of hand from what people want them to be, if that makes sense. And things are done so they get back in line. But again, going back to XRP and why they have the escrow in place, you're preventing a 51% attack. You can make sure that nobody gets 50 billion, like no group of people get 50 billion, and they're now having more control than you would like them to have over an asset that you really have a plan and a purpose for, right? That's the real reason why. That's my speculation, right? But people keep believing the whole propaganda and talk, well, XRP keeps dumping on us every month and blah, 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 blah. Bro, look at the US dollar right now. Look at the US dollar and where we're at right now. $5 million for the American dream. Right? 5 million. Okay, and people think that people were trying to dump XRP as an asset for dollars. It's almost, I almost want to say it's idiotic. It's almost idiotic to think something like that. If you truly understand the price of the US dollar right now, why would they ever want to dump XRP for the dollar? They're clearly holding on to it so they can have control of it, right? Let's continue. What up, though? J-Share 2.0. Can you clarify the agreement between Swift and Swiftcoin for folks that may not be aware? Oh, that's a good one. J-Share 2.0. So, Swift blockchain and Swift have a coexistence agreement for the name. And then in this agreement, right, they say, okay, so you can see here, Swift blockchain and then Swift, the clearinghouse, the global clearinghouse that clears all the money around the world, the realm. They say this is a critical milestone in establishing Swift blockchain as the premier facilitator of crypto transfers, easier, faster, safer. And we believe this agreement has wider implications for the blockchain and crypto communities, since it is further proof of overarching theme that the old Swift and the new Swift blockchain are able to coexist. And shout out to Underdog Research Channel. Shout out to Shook Focus Digital. We did a lot of the research on Swift blockchain together. Love those brothers. Definitely go check out their channels if you haven't already. We'll definitely bring that up too. But understand that this has always been a plan for the new Swift and the old Swift to exist, to coexist, okay? We got to get what they're saying when they say these coexistence, and coexistence ends. So the old system, the coexistence for the old system is going to end on 11/22. And 11 is another number that has a lot of esoteric meaning behind it. So the old coexistence is over. 11/22, and 2/22 is 2 11s. So together, if you add up those 3 11s, you get 33. Another number with esoteric significance. So it's very clear to me with things like this coexistence agreement. And if you look at people like Smoke and all the documentation that Smoke has gotten together, you watch my brother Maximus Crypto's channel and all the things he's brought to the table, it's so clear what XRP is, right? It's so clear that XRP is the next kind of global reserve currency, right? I don't know what people are missing. I don't know if they're believing the propaganda. I don't know if they're just in their feels. Like, it's so clear, right? like I don't know. It's crazy for me to think about that people don't get it. Like, it's crazy, but I understand. I truly do. There's so much. As much as there's information out there, there's misinformation out there. So I get it. I do. Go for it. Bitcoin is 56K modem. That's crazy. Digital nomad investor knows what time it is. What's up, Scotty? Big Zebec bags. Load the name change again. Hey, Crypto Crossroads Show. Another person who contributed to the Swift blockchain research. Shout out to bro. Let's go and bring up his channel here. And I can bring up everybody's channel because I wanted to do that. So, mosey on down here. You have $100 research channel, Shook Focus Digital. As I mentioned, those two gentlemen, we did collaborations and talk on Swift blockchain. Okay. Shout out to Maximus Crypto, who I frequently collaborate with. Shout out to Max. Really appreciate you, brother. Shout out to the Mooniverse. We just did a collaboration not too long ago here. I think it was a little bit like middle September. Shout out to Gentlemen of Crypto. Shout out to NYC ONAP. Shout out to Simon Family Investments. Shout out to Benzinga. Shout out to 101 Media. Shout out to Crypto Future. Shout out to the Ronin Experience. And shout out to our brother Crypto Crossroads Show in the chat there. Up to 706 subscribers. Another 13 up in here, guys. Another 13 up in here. And his channel has only been around for like 7 or 8 months. He's already less than 300 away from 1,000 subs. Let's get him there. Let's get bro monetized. appreciate you, brother, for being in the house here. He does content on Kita, content on Lightlink, content on Velo Labs. Definitely go check out, brother, if you haven't already. Quite the catalog here. Ripple and Gemini, Investa, IXS, Hedera, Mini here, Red Belly Network as well, Quant. So many great shows here from our brother here. And like I said, he's been a member of my community. I know this guy's research is stellar. Definitely check him out, guys. Let's see here. We're running on fiber optics, aka XRP. Yes, indeed. It's just what the data says. I feed in net metrics and run it through multiple AI platforms, and voila, that's what comes out. JSA 2.0, yo, Crossroads. Got some respect for our brother Crypto Crossroads in here. I'm about to down my BTC for more Zebec and double my bag. Is this crazy? Hey, man, I don't think so. I don't think so. BTC is Blockbuster Video. XRP is Netflix. Let's go. Digital, we about to be playing with house money, baby. Yeah. Love that. Nomad. Dave F, what is up, brother, man? Not selling my XRP for a long time anyway. Yeah, I think long term they're gonna just allow us to be able to get passive income off of these. Again, like just talking it out with you guys, realizing what they did with Stronghold, so people wouldn't, just like XRP, so that people would not get a controlling interest in Stronghold. They took 60 billion of it off the market and put it in escrow. They must have huge plans for Stronghold. Makes me really happy in the amount that I have, and maybe I might even want to pick up more after realizing that fact that we were just talking about right now. Man alive, it's going to be a wonderful time to be a crypto investor. And just to think about it, man, I really think that the less than 1 to 2% of the world is in cryptocurrency right now, right? And the 1 to 2% that's actually in cryptocurrency, how many of them you think is are in meme coins right now? It's crazy to think about, guys. It's crazy to think about. How many of the 1 to 2% are in meme coins? How many of the 1 and 2% think that XRP is a scam? How many of the 1 and 2% are Bitcoin only? Not, and I'm not trying to like FUD Bitcoin or anything like that, but how many of the 1 to 2% do you think are Bitcoin only? It's crazy. It's crazy, guys. Like, it's crazy to think about the opportunity that we have in front of us, and how so many people are going to be missing it because they're focused on all this other stuff except money flow, liquidity, watching the water, as Crypto Clay says out here. It's amazing, man. And just again, looking at if we need 5 million to get to the American dream, how else are we going to do this legally other than cryptocurrency? Right? You know what I mean? Like, time is now, right? Time is now. I hope people are doing what they have to do to get as much of these ISO 20022 cryptos as they can. I hope people are stacking away. I hope that people are doing things like my Patreon, where I give people crypto watch lists. I hope people are, paying attention out here, man. Because this might be the last time. This might be the last time that people can get it at a reasonable cost before it's out of here, gone. What's up, brother, man? What's up, Dave F? Not selling my XRP now for a long time. Anyway, what if XRP is a distraction? XPR is the abstraction. DUI. I think XRP is what XRP is. They didn't go, like I just said, They didn't go through the trouble of escrowing 50 billion for no reason. I know they have the whole thing out there where they're saying, what if, XPR is the real XRP? No, but that doesn't mean that XPR still doesn't have its purpose. I'm very high on Metallicus. Okay, I'm very high on them, and I really love their lending platform, and I think they're really going to open the door for credit unions to be like a force in these markets right now. Hold on. Okay, I'm not sharing that tab. Woo-wee. Thank goodness. Let me go ahead and log out of my Meta wallet here. Okay, so now I can show you what I wanted to show you over here. Yeah, their lending platform, I'm definitely using it. Just like I was saying here, I'm using it just mostly as a staking mechanism right now. But again, they say that borrowing against your crypto is not a taxable event. So this might be something that you want to look at. But again, be very, very careful because you don't want to borrow to the point where you get your crypto almost taken from you, right? You really want to make sure that you borrow responsibly. So if that's the way you want to go to try to not create a taxable event, try it out, but don't be responsible with it. Maybe you might just want to create taxable events and say, F it. Okay, government, you can have the 20% you're going to have. Because I think if you've held onto a crypto for like a whole year, then the percentage goes down to 20 as opposed to 40% that you owe. I'm not a tax guy, so definitely double check that. I'm not a tax guy. Anything I say here is not tax advice and shouldn't be taken as such. But that's what I believe is the case. But definitely do your own research. What up, Jay? I hope all is well, brother. But yeah, XPR is definitely going to have its place. But I wouldn't go around thinking that XPR is the real XRP. XRP is XRP, and they didn't take 50 billion off the market for no reason. I know people try to spin that into the Ripple is dumping on us, but no, Ripple took that off their out of the field for a reason, and it wasn't just a dump on us. Okay. Can you please drop Max Jesse's video about lending XRP? Did they have a video about lending XRP? I didn't know that they had that. I'll have to go figure out where that is. I didn't know they had a video on lending XRP. Yeah, let me go see if we can find that here. So, let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. Let's see if it'll let me find it. Lending XRP. I don't know. If they have that video, I'm not sure which one it is. If you can share it on my X, I can give it to people. If you just go ahead and share it to me on X, my DMs are open. And if you share it to me on X, I will be sure to put it in the chat for people to take a look at, because I think that'll definitely be information that's worthy and great for people to watch. So I'll keep going, and I'll be looking for the link if you put it down in my X. What up, Dave? Same to you, fam. It's all good. Life is good. Much love. Man, that's up to you, man. Honestly, it's up to you. Not any financial advice, but I honestly do see ZBCN out earning Bitcoin in the short term. In the short term, yeah. And if you always wanted to go back and get your Bitcoin after ZBCN out earns it, you certainly could. But that's up to you. Not financial advice. Do what you want to do there. AK subs around the corner. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it, brother. Yes or no, man. I'm not a fan of BTC now. Just because of better multiples with XRP and ZBCN. Yes, indeed. Trump won 2.4 to 24.5 million from YouTube. Yes. Interesting. That's kind of my thought process. Just feels crazy. No. That's a positive thought process. If you ain't rich, you shouldn't be buying BTC. Only dumb people do that. Oh, Delta Go Zero. That's hilarious, bro. I sold off most of my XCN to ZBCN a while back. It was the easy pull. Last time I was in BTC, it was about 20K. And here is Terrell's comment. Appreciate you with super chat. Can't go wrong with Zebec, and the good brother Rue. Smash that like button. Thank you so much, brother. Definitely anything. It goes back into the show, man. Salute, Rue. What's up? Gotta be legend. I never thought about Bitcoin, but not even when I was new to crypto. I already knew Bitcoin was, and I didn't even know what a meme coin was. There you go. You're into gematria. You're into gematria. Shaking my head. Yeah, I'm definitely into gematria. Numbers. So I'm a programmer, guys, by the way. So if you guys are not familiar with programming, what programming is you take a pseudo, language, right? And you type it into the compiler or whatever. And the compiler takes those words that you wrote into like pseudo language and it compiles it down to binary code, right? So if a computer can interpret binary code, it's kind of the same thing. Like we're interpreting those kind of numbers. And of course, there's the lunar cycles and things like that. We already know that when the full moon happens, there's a high tide, right? So the tide, the water responds to the moon. What are we? We're mostly water. So they say there's more accidents and things that happens on full moons. I kind of believe it because we're mostly water, right? There's whole much stuff into it, but it's fine. You don't have to believe in it, but I know it works. I'm gonna keep using it because it works. Hey, I'm a big believer in what works. Believe me. Like I said, I had a stroke and I did different things that were unconventional, and they worked for me. And I like stuff that works, and I'm gonna continue to use stuff that works. Doesn't matter how anyone else feels about that. 41.6. What's up, Jordy? Hey, man, glad to have caught another live. Appreciate you. House up in here. Years ago, Christine Lagarde walked in on Brad Garlinghouse to the Globalists. That process is huge. Brad has gone to Globalist meetings ever since. Bodes well for XRP expansion. Yes, indeed. Currently holding 79 million Zebec. Let's go, long win. If Zebec can latch onto Ripple, good times ahead for ZBCN. Yes, indeed. True. Then Brad G can walk in the Zebec people to the globalists. Bam. That one guy, Zebec, started in San Francisco with Brad's boy. ZBCN about to make haters. The hater FOMO. You keep hating haters. What's up, hater all day? All day they FOMO. Look at him. Nice. I see what you did there. Delta goes 0. D Wild Zebec has been connected to Ripple OpenCoin. All you have to do is go down the rabbit hole. There you go. Nice comment there, D Wild. Crypto Bullish. Ripple was working with regulators from the start. Quick start with Gensler, who is the pocket of the bankers, acted on behalf of the lawsuit. Well, people always mention that the fact that Gensler was like a crypto professor at MIT. So there's some question to whether, if he was a crypto professor at MIT, he obviously understands, right? He obviously understands. So you gotta wonder about that, right? With Gensler, you gotta wonder about that. But who's to say, right? Who's to say? But honestly, one could think that it went way faster and way too it went way quicker than they thought it was probably going to go. So maybe they were like, whoa, we got to stop this. We have to really stop this. This is out of control. We can't. This can't be like this, or otherwise we're going to lose control of this thing, and we need it. So maybe they did what they needed to do, right? And again, that's why I think we had the escrow implemented, because they're like, look, we can't have certain amount of people controlling 50% of this. We can't. So we need to just lock it up, and and some smart person was like, okay, well, if you lock it up, what if something happens? All right, well, then every month we will just, release a little bit of it, just in case, so it's not permanently locked up. We need to adjust prices or whatever. We could do that. But now we have the 50% locked up. Nobody can mess with it or take our control of it away, because we got 50%. You know what I mean? So, and if you look at it, it's like, okay, why didn't they do more than 50? Because a certain bank, SBI, has 8.7% of it. So more than 50% is locked up that they're not really going to touch. So, and then Stronghold just came. They were just like, okay, we'll just take 60. We'll just do 60 off the bat. Okay, so yeah. If we get Dogecoin's 2020 market cap will be nearly $1. Let's go. And again, doing this in market cap, it might not be the best way to do it. I know you're just saying if we get Doge's market cap, but when we think about, okay, if Science Car is using it, university students are using it, and is used for sports betting, man, it could go pretty fast. 555 in the house today. There's no better crypto company and platform than Ripple now for enterprise solutions, hands down. Do 10 minutes of real due diligence. Hey, Rue, since we know from Paul Atkins, let us know that the SEC is opening up the way for super apps. I wonder if that entails interoperability between super apps across the globe or just US apps. That's a good question right there, Kevin Garrett. Start that. Shout out to Mr. Spader and the stuff that he sent me. Let me see if I can share that again to you guys. Because one of the things that he had in here, as far as like why Zebec is more superior than FanDuel, it got into that point where like, okay, well, you could do global betting, and it's not just limited to one app or one fiat or one currency. Okay, is this it? Okay, this kind of gets into it. I think this one got into it too. Okay, yep. Okay, so that's that. This is it. Let me share it to you. And shout out Mr. Spader for this information. Mr. Spader 007. I always like to give credit where credit's due, and I appreciate people who share information with me. Let's see here. I'm gonna stop that screen share and share the entire screen. And here we go. Here. So here it is. So scale comparison, FanDuel and Zebec. Speed. FanDuel, hours to days. Zebec streaming, seconds, real time. Limited to states, licenses, and countries. Borderless with stablecoins. Because remember what the gentleman told us on the Cybos, that stablecoins are central bank backed. So technically anything running on those could be borderless. Okay? Borderless with stablecoins and fiat bridges. Transaction volume, thousands per second, billions per second possible. Fees, high, batch-based fixed cost, near zero dynamic. Transparency, closed database, fully adjustable on-chain. Innovation potential, static, legacy rails, adaptive. A composable architecture. And then we have here another one where it's like real-time payout, instant, global compliance, regional, right? But with the stablecoins, Zebec would not be regional. It would be designed from the ground up for cross-border. So you could be in freaking Istanbul betting on American sports games. You could be in freaking Juneau, Alaska, betting on some MLS, Major League Soccer. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter at all. So when you think about that, that's crazy liquidity. And this is also why you would need something like XRP, which, again, shout out to Max, shout out to Jesse, shout out to Smoke, has infinite liquidity. If everything goes back to the XRP system, then you got liquidity for all of this all the time. Okay? Profitable even at 0.01% bet size. And that's really it too. Like, if you connect everything to this entire system and you have infinite liquidity available anytime, you can do crazy types of consumption. To the point where you could even have metaverses with AI agents running, and I could have 5 AI agents just doing stuff for me. And, with edge computing and all of this other stuff, the only thing we would need is the bandwidth and the computing to support it all, right? But conceivably, as long as there's infinite liquidity, I can have a whole bunch of different virtual agents at my disposal working for me. Partnership depth. Leagues only, no payment rails. MasterCard uphold, leagues integrated. So you literally integrating the league with the sports betting, which is crazy to think about. Maybe they might even they couldn't let players. They still couldn't let players participate because they could collude and they could affect the games. But the leagues would be integrated into this partnership. Stretching into other markets, just sports, no payroll. Now you can use anything as liquidity. Like, even they won't care that you're a degenerate gambler. If you want to use your 401k to gamble on a game, you could. If you wanted to use any real world asset at your disposal, including your future earning power, you could. If you wanted to use freaking your car, you could tokenize it and use it. Like anything. Anything could be used for any type of bet that you wanted to make. That's crazy. That's insane when you think about it. But then if you think about then going to the level of virtual reality, it could get really crazy. Like crazy. But payroll, gig economy, subscriptions, and esports. So let's stop sharing here. Bring this back. Okay. Crypto bullish. That's why entities globally are using it. How do you see XDC and HBAR going by 2030? HBAR, we gotta think at least a $10 HBAR, right? When you look at all the people that are involved with HBAR, like all the hugest companies in the world, it's definitely over a 10. Like it should be $100 coin. Especially considering the things that it could be used for, as far as like, carbon credits and all these things go. Like it really could be $100 a coin by 2030, but 10 seems like a good spot, because it's like at 20 cents right now. You imagine it 10xing, that's like $2, and then going a little bit more than 2x, or going a little bit more than 10x if it was like 20x or something like that. $10 or more, right? It's definitely worth that. And definitely with the people behind it, the people invested in it, it's worth more than that. And XDC, knowing is the settlement for all of R3's quota, for that side of the world, why couldn't it be $10 as well? The tokenomics with HBAR, I think HBAR has way more coins than XDC. Don't quote me on that, but I think it does. I think it has more coins than XDC. So maybe we see XDC be even higher when you talk about it used for trade finance. Think about all the things that can be real world traded, and think about commodities and energy and carbon actually being this thing. Like Tesla and these guys have already been doing this carbon trading. So you bring in different coins like the ones we talk about in the Patreon. Like there's a lot of reason to believe that XDC and HBAR can be $10 or more. And right now they're like, XDC might be one of the biggest bargains out here. And they tried to sleep on it for so long. Like they even tried to say that R3 quota was being bought by somebody. They tried to get people off of XDC for a bit too. XDC had its own little hate campaign. So did Hedera early on. Like Charles Hoskinson was hating on Hedera early on. He would say Hedera is not even a blockchain. It's not, allegedly. Everything I'm saying is alleged. But yeah, so I know that Kaya blockchain is building a super app to bridge Web 2 and Web 3 in Southeast Asia. Could be something big, but I'm just speculating. That'll be something to look at for sure. Strong holds strong. Yes, indeed. Do you believe that Digibyte can get to $1? Digibyte is one of the ones that people never talk about a lot, but it has a lot of people, a lot of things behind it, and they've been building for years. I could definitely see something like that because nobody talks about it, but they still put in the work. So Like what it's going to be used for, what's its purpose, I can't tell you. But it's kind of like IOTA. Nobody really says anything about IOTA, but IOTA is deflationary. Nobody really talks about it. You can't really buy it here in America, just like it was hard to buy Stronghold. Yeah, why couldn't it? Why couldn't it? And I think Digibyte is another one of those ones you can't really get here in America. It's kind of hard to find Digibyte. So, yeah, I could definitely see that being one that gets somewhere. What's your prediction for Flare this cycle? I think Flare's time is going to be once this airdrops are finished, and that the airdrops don't finish until January 30th of 2026. So I think Flare's time to shine is going to be around that time, right after that. And who knows? That's another one with XRP type tokenomics. And when you think about the things that Flare is using and doing with XRP DeFi, they're offering DeFi on XRP. They're offering like yield for XRP. Like they're one of the biggest and best ones offering yield for XRP. They're definitely going to have their place. So I could definitely see $1 Flare. Now, for it to be at 2 cents right now, almost 3, why couldn't you get yourself like 100,000 Flare or 1 million Flare out here? What would 1 million Flare be? Might be quite the penny for 1 million Flare at this point, but they offer staking rewards. You could definitely get, I think, 1 million Flare at this point would be like 20K, like 20, 21, 22, 24K. But for $1 million, why not? Maybe Zebec is the better bargain right now, but, I definitely believe in diversity of assets. I have some Flare on Uphold that I'm just going to keep there. And, I wouldn't mind having 1 million Flare. I really wouldn't mind having 1 million Flare. I went heavy on Zebec. I feel like I have enough. Not enough, bro. Yep. The Philippines just experienced a huge earthquake, by the way. 6.9 on the Richter scale. That's crazy. And I hope, I pray for people in the Philippines. I hope everyone's okay there. I know that a lot of people have been finding out about the Philippines and moving there, right? I really hope that everybody's okay, not just the American expat people. I hope the Filipino people are okay too. Like this is crazy. This is crazy, man. I really hope those people are okay. ISO 2002 is an international financial message exchange standard that serves as a common language for financial industry using structured XML-based format like exchanging information in areas like payments, securities, trade, services. It aims to increase efficiency, transparency, and security by allowing richer and more detailed data within transactions, which helps combat fraud, improve regulatory reporting, and streamline processes and different systems and borders. Well, now, Smoke, shout out to Smoke. He's been over how ISO is not just a messaging standard. Of course, like we always have to temper ourselves in these things, right? Because we're getting the definition from the people, you know what I mean? But they also have documentation where, like, most of the documentation you see is going to say it's just a messaging standard. But if you dig deep, like Smoke has dig deep, you figure out it's not just a messaging standard. So, I firmly believe that all information that it has to be displayed. It has to be that everyone had the opportunity to see the information. It might not have been easy for you to see the information, but everyone had the opportunity to see the information. And, guys like Smoke go out there, they make it very easy because they post it in a public forum. Like Smoke, like whatever Smoke is making from the Smoke room, like his private trading platform is not enough. Like, everybody should be donating like $1 or $2 to this man, because the amount of places that share his information, including myself, like whatever he's making from his Patreon, he's not making enough. He's clearly not. Just shout out to you, Smoke, and all the stuff that you do out here, posting this documentation and this info for us. Like, man, what like, blessings upon you, bro, and your family. Like infinite blessings to you, bro. Yeah, I'm like, I really appreciate this man's information. I can't say enough good accolades for him. But you see here, let's say messaging standard. Yes, the architecture of ISO 2002 is designed to include blockchain transactions. So it shows you right here, he's saying that is not just a messaging standard. Align crypto asset in accordance with standards in ISO 20002. The ISO standard is designed to include blockchain transactions and application program interfaces, so that it has APIs built into it. It's not just a messaging standard. The same reference data standards can be used by blockchain networks within their code to improve, MLCFT controls. Currently, there are several crypto service providers that use ISO compliant standards such as Ripple. So this is another showing that it's always been the point that Ripple was going to be a part of this. And it was Swift who put this into motion. That's exactly what brother, I'm not sure who suggested this, was showing you when I showed you that coexistence agreement with Swift blockchain and Swift. Okay, it has always been the point to include Ripple here. If people don't understand that, they're missing the point, and they're not looking at documentation. They're looking at propaganda and hearsay. That's why I do appreciate Smoke always shows you the documentation. It's like, okay, well, this isn't the hearsay. It's been documented. Look at it. It's right here. What do you want from me? Document it twice. What do you need? That's what I feel like. That's how I feel like his energy is, right? And here it is, right here. ISO 20022 migration is much more than just a new messaging format. It is the start of an entirely new era for payments. Now, I'm not sure if that's what you were meaning by posting that, Bullish, but I just wanted to show you this. And people can come over here and read this for themselves. I can't really zoom in on this, but it's clear that it's more than just, freak. The whole time you guys didn't see that. Okay, let me go over here. Sorry about that. Where was I? F me. Okay. So yeah, ISO 20002 migration is more than just a message, more than just ISO myth. ISO 2002 is just a messaging format. ISO 22 migration is much more than just a messaging format. It's an entirely new era for payments, documented twice. You can come over to Smoke's thing and just type in messaging standard, and you'll see this stuff. The one I was reading was this one. Yes, the architecture of ISO 20022 is designed to include blockchain transactions. ISO 20022 use standard codes to identify important details within the financial message, like what's being traded and who is involved. So it's more than just a messaging standard. Aligning crypto asset codes in accordance with standards such as ISO 2002 is one way to combat MLFT The ISO 20022 architecture is designed to include blockchain transactions and application program interfaces, so APIs. APIs, if you're a coder, you know what that means. But basically, APIs can be anything. Like, it could be a whole function for something which you just provide it with an input and it does it. So if it's including APIs in there, it could be literally anything in this messaging standard. You just put an API in it and you could provide an enum. Enums are basically, again, words that compile down to numbers. But enums are like words that are directly representative of numbers. So like if I were to do like primary colors, like I could say red 1 or red 0, blue 1, green 2, and you know every time you see green that you're getting 2, and so on, right? So since APIs are in here, they would literally be functions that you could provide them with any input and it would do something. So if APIs are included into this messaging standard, you can do anything with it, period. Like in the story. The same reference data can be used by blockchain networks within their code to improve AML and CFT controls. For you guys that are familiar with coding, there are these things called functors, which basically you can provide a function to something and you can put any type of implementation into that function. So with this API, you can literally put anything in there, and all you have to do is give it a word, and it will do it. So it can do anything, kind of like quote unquote do anything. Currently, there are several different crypto service providers with compliance standards such as Ripple. Okay, so when you think about a standard such as like TCP/IP, where they're sending data to another computer, if they know its IP address, this would be like smart contracts, really. Like whenever you see this, do this. Like it's crazy. So yeah. I used to see ZBCN and wallet sizes from the highest to the lowest. Now it's from the lowest to the highest. 12% is the low. 12.3% is the low. 10 to like 25 cents. And 29.6% is the moderate. 25 cents to 50 cents. And the high is 50 cents to $1, 21%. And then you got 3.8% chance that it's above $1. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you. Supermoon is coming 7th of October. Yes, indeed. You know. My plan is to borrow against my crypto to buy businesses who wants dollars or they have almost no value. 100% Rico Mart, 100%. And you know, that's a pretty good plan, man. That's a pretty good plan. You know, I just want to earn passive income as long as I can. You know, I mean, I could just let my money sit there and grow more money with passive income, and I'll find something else to invest in. Like, I don't necessarily want to invest in a business because I don't want to manage people. I don't want to manage too many people other than it's fun. I don't want to necessarily manage people like that. So, you know, I just want to manage my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me just find another investment to invest in that I don't necessarily have to. And I know you can buy ready-made businesses that already function on their own, which you don't necessarily have to hire people. But you know, and you can hire a person to hire the people. But you know, I just rather let my investments grow and get other investments that I can sell. You said that I'm buying it. What's up, Captain Jack? You're a man, brother. Keep on keeping on. Yes, indeed. Rico Martin, exactly 5 million. Let's go. What's up, OG Crypto? Crypto bullish market cap is calculated by multiplying a company's current share price by the total number of outstanding shares. For example, if a company has 1 million shares outstanding and the stock price is, and there in crypto, there is a certain multiplier on market cap. I don't know if this is true in stocks, but it's definitely true in crypto. And you can experience that with certain meme coins where people will have they'll have a meme coin will go up to 1 million or 5 million or whatever. And then certain people will remove their money and that boy is drained. It doesn't mean that 5 million total dollars was in that meme coin. It just means like a certain amount of flow plus a multiplier was in that meme coin. So it might read 5 million market cap, but really all that was in there is like 1 million with the positive flow. And then chunk. And they took out that 1 million, and it's so market cap does not necessarily mean that that much value is in the coin. It just means like that flow plus a certain multiplier is in the coin, which is crazy. It should be like the total amount, but it's not. It really isn't. All of retail only holds about 2% of the XRP. Institutions don't care about us getting rich. They don't. However, they don't want people to. They don't want a rival faction to come out here and get. At least, back then when XRP was like at cents, right? They had to go out and do the escrow, so no one got a controlling share. That's my thought about it. I could be wrong there. This is my speculation, but when they did this with the escrow, it was like 2017 around here. So what was the price of XRP? So it was a little under a cent. So conceivably, a faction could have gone out there and gotten control of a faction could have gone out there and gotten control of like 60 or 50 billion. So they had to go out there and prevent that. Same thing with Stronghold. They must have figured out people were acquiring it they had a whole bunch already in escrow, I think, and they just officially said that they were gonna, put it in escrow. But yeah, you gotta wonder, okay, if they're doing that, it's definitely gonna have, it's definitely gonna be important for them, and it's definitely gonna grow in value. How much XRP is enough to make $1 million? Well, if it's $1,000, if it ends up being $1,000 this year, then 1,000 XRP will get you to $1 million. If you believe like Jake Claver and others, they say that there might be $2,000 XRP next year. He says 4-digit, but he did also say the number 2,000. But if it's $2,000, then what is that then? 500, I believe. Then 500 XRP will make you a millionaire, which is crazy to think about. Let me just use my calculator to double check those numbers right quick. I think I'm right. Yep. So come 2026, if you have 500 XRP, you're a millionaire. Now think about this though too. Most people just consume with their money. They just consume, they consume, and they consume. I don't think they'll care if you just consume it, right? If you have $1 million, you really want to try to either I think Rico Mart was talking about buy a business or get passive income off of it. The last thing you want to do is consume that money and be right back in the same place. Trust me, guys, and you don't want to think, okay, the money will always just come. Put a plan, get a plan ready now. Get a plan ready now. Figure out some places where you can get passive income, like MetalX Lending, like Uphold, which I believe Uphold has insurance, right? Look at some dividend stocks like AT&T, stocks that are not gonna, you know what I mean, not gonna lose too much value or something like that. Look at these things. The last thing you want to do is consume that $1 million. You want to make it grow. You want to make it grow. You really want to make it grow. So look at these avenues now. Get the plan set up now. You know, not financial advice, just what I'm doing with my portfolio. You know, I'm going to look to be staking things like Flare. I'm going to be looking to stake things that I think will increase in value. This is my plan. You know, find the plan that works for you. The last thing you want to do is go consume that $1 million after you worked. You know, you've went and identified the winner and found it and got it. And that's what I think they're also banking on people to do. Like, okay, well, you got $1 million now. Are you gonna protect it? Are you gonna grow it? Or are you gonna consume it? Okay, so get the plan ready now, guys. Get it ready now. Because the last thing I want to see is you brothers and sisters to identify it and be back in the same place within however long, right? So looks like SoScan changed the ZBCN wallet setup. Can't see wallets from the highest to the lowest. I'm wondering if I mistakenly changed the settings. Didn't happen until the rich list was posted. Oh, wow. Depends on how long you hold. Oh, I just answered you, PinoQ. Market cap is just a result of multiplication problem. It's not a metric that dictates anything, especially in crypto. Exactly. And that's the thing where it's like, you got to throw that market cap out of the window when you think, and I know people say that and it sounds ridiculous, but again, when you think about things like Zebec, in which sports betting immediately, instantly, and sports betting and micropayments where even a cent is valuable for the company, you can have them betting on anything. Technical fouls, free throw shots, turnovers, points, rebounds, assists. Like, it could be dumb, like parlays, like 5 to 10 level parlays for a cent, 2 cents, 3 cents. All of that will start adding up after a while. And they can do it because there's like almost zero fees. You can have like crazy 5-cent parlays, right? Oh my God, this is crazy to think about. And imagine they're probably gonna grease your hands a little bit, give you like a $10 voucher or $15 voucher, and it might look so like, think about how juicy that's gonna look to people if you can do like 5-cent, 10-cent bets and you got $15 voucher. Oh my goodness, bro. It's gonna be insane. $15 vouchers, and you know somebody's just gonna like go crazy over some like 5-cent or 10-cent parlay. And then they put out the news that somebody hit a 5-cent parlay for like $1,000. Man, come on. It's gonna be so crazy, guys. Imagine that. People go crazy right now over the meme coin stuff. Imagine how normie guy is going to go when they can do 5-cent parlays and they're giving like a $15 or $25 credit. Like, Oh my goodness, man. Yeah, I'm just happy I'm a Zebec investor out here, especially if they it's going to be sports betting, which we think it is going to be. Man alive, man alive. And then they're going to put the streaming payment stuff on top of that too. Oh man. $2028, I would say around 1,000 XRP. Well, we already gave the numbers there. What's up, hard tar? Click the holders in tab in SoulScan. I have 50k XRP. Wow, Pinot Q. 50k XRP, and then you got a ton of Zebec. Man, you're gonna be, bro. You're gonna have your own little St. James out here, bro. You're gonna have your own island out here. What's your lowest price prediction for XPR this cycle? Well, we did kind of do a market cap of A, and what did we find with that? Lowest for XPR is 33 cents for me, but then I'm not sure what accelerators they have in place, like how Zebec has this sports betting. I know, well, I do know accelerators they have in place. They have lending with the credit unions. So if they hook up the credit union lending to MetalX lending, and for the customer behind it, it doesn't matter. They got some like turnkey solution like Zebec has. Then it could accelerate this thing pretty fast. XPR could go into hyperdrive. And the way it's looking with everything right now, guys, it's looking like people are going to need to do lending because people cannot afford what's going on. Again, I just showed you. $5 million American dream. Like, it literally takes $5 million now. Like, gone are the days where somebody can be a factory worker and support an entire family and go on like 2 vacations a year. That's dead. That's gone. And have a pension and all of this. That is dead. Dead. You know, wife, like, you know, the husband, the wife, like you darn near have to have like the whole family working in one house to make things work nowadays. If you're like just a normal family, like otherwise you can't. It's just looking dire out there. So. And nobody's paying attention to cryptocurrency right now other than us. So I don't know how normal Joe's going to do it. I don't know how people. It's just crazy, guys. But here we go. XPR, Casper, 5 billion market cap gets XPR to about 18 cents. So then if we get 10 billion market cap, again, 10 billion market cap might sound crazy to you, but then if you say Metallicus is hooked into all these different credit unions lending programs and people are using Metallicus for lending for cars, for, you know, houses, like a whole family is going to go to the bank and a whole family basically has to go in on the house because a normal family can't afford it. Like, you know what I mean? When I say a whole family, I mean like, okay, you and your sister are going in, and you and your sister's husband, or, you know, or whatever, you know, you and your sister's person and your person are going in on a house together. Like, that might be the place that we're at right now. That's the norm. Like, 2 couples might be having to buy a house together. Like, this is the norm that we're hitting right now. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about. Oh, here's the market cap of a. So we see with a 5 billion XPR was at $5 billion, it would be around 18 cents. So basically, I guess I'm saying 10 billion XPR. I could definitely see that. And that would be a 50x, right? For a normal altcoin boom, 50x is doable. And that's what people are saying. Like, we haven't even hit altcoin season yet. Well, if we hit altcoin season, 50x should be doable, right? So, get an LLC. Yeah, definitely get an LLC. You know, not financial advice. Definitely consult someone on that. Real, I get XRP, but at $3, I'm priced out. Yeah, see, and that's crazy, man. That was like I was saying, man. Like, a lot of people are gonna get priced out with that, right? But you know what I mean? Like, again, if we think that 500 XRP at some point are gonna make you a millionaire, why not even just own like 10? If because certain people have said, like, you know, Maximus is not the only person. You know, Jake Claver, others. XRP is designed to be at like 10K in XRP. So why not even just have 100 of them or 50 of them? Because at what? If it eventually actually ends up being 10K in XRP, what was that, 100? Yeah, at 100 XRP, you're a millionaire. So, I don't know, 100 XRP right now would be $300. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it's at least worth it to say have 100, right? Overall, have you checked out BSL on HBAR? I have. I'm not. BSL got me one time, and like they dumped on people a couple times. I'm not as high on BSL as I am on other things on HBAR. You know, but I got some. I just have a little bit right now. I might get a little bit more, but I'm not gonna go too much on BSL because I got burnt, and that might just be me because I got burnt. Yeah, it might just be because I got burnt, but by them before. But I might get a little bit just in case, you know, a little bit, like 100K or 100K BSL coins just in case, you know. Which I think right now 100K BSL coins is like $70 or something like that. You know, get a calculator if you can't figure out 1 million on 50x. Yeah, 50K XRP, you're more than golden, bro. I think at 50K XRP, like for real, you can XRP can go to like $10 and you're a millionaire. No, I think not quite $10. $20. So yeah, $20 XRP would make you a millionaire, but at 50K XRP. But I don't see any reason why you wouldn't hold for more than that. But you know, this is up to you. You know, not financial advice. Yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah. People are really rough on you, brother. That's okay. I'm not rough on you. I know sometimes math. You know, if you're not thinking about it, yeah, no worries, brother. No worries. 100K XRP. 300K or 100K of Zebec. Probably a better bet. Yeah, I don't know. I own both, so I'm betting on both. Let's see. Tax-free passive income. Wink, wink. Yes, indeed. Plus 8% APR per month. Yep. And pretty soon here, yeah, you see they're coming out with all these different programs where you can get some yield on your XRP. So they're not gonna. They don't. I don't think they necessarily. And again, to the amount of XRP they got, and they already have 50 billion of it in escrow. The little bit that we earn, they're not gonna be. They're not gonna be. You know what I mean? They're not gonna care too much about that, and especially knowing that. And I hate to say this, and this is I'm only saying it mostly as a warning for not only everybody but myself too. A lot of people are probably just gonna consume it and end up in a bad place. I hope, everybody that hears this on a recording, I pray that you guys, when you have the money in your hand, have a plan. And as much and you can still fail with the plan, right? But how does the saying go? Failure to plan is the only that's the only way to really fail is to failing the plan. If you have some plan and some contingencies, you'll be straight. But just do what you can to make sure you can continue to generate income and not blow through whatever money you have here, man. Just build and build and build and build. Yeah, there we go. Never sell. Borrow against it is tax-free. Selling is taxable. Yep, that's the thing. But at the same time, remember when you're borrowing against it, don't put yourself in a trap where you're over leveraged in what you're borrowing. So, you eventually give it all back to them anyway. Borrow kind of under what you need so that you can make sure you can continue to do the cycle, right? You don't want to borrow and over leverage yourself to the point where you're basically gifting them your XRP. Do the thing of, not financial advice or anything like that. Under borrow. Make sure you can always make your payments and all of that. Until you can, do it again and do it again. And you're never into a place where you're over leveraging your borrowing and you end up giving it all back to them. So be careful with that. But yeah, doing the loan is not, not tax advice. Consult a professional tax person. But from what I hear, borrowing against your crypto is not a taxable event. It does not generate a taxable event. So I hear. I had 2 million Zebec staked and now staked another 1 million on top of that. That's how bullish I am on Zebec. 3 million staking for me now. I would never sell my XRP. At least not up until 2035. Nice, brother. What's your prediction for Zebec? Again, I'm almost to 20 cents now. Don't sleep on quant. Yeah, everybody I think should have at least 10 quant. Why wouldn't you? It's $1,000. You know what I mean? At this point, I think everybody should have 10 quant for real. I have 517 quant. Yeah, PNOQ is gonna be just crazy rich out here. What's up, WF Capital? Where do you think Zebec will go? I have 40 million. Yep, 15 to 20 cents out here. I don't want to sell early. Damn. Let's see here. What's up, Chick Focus Digital? We featured your channel here, brother. Let's bring it back up. Check out our brother Shook Focus Digital here. Again, if you mosey on down on my channel from the home page, you'll see featured channels. Shook's right here. Definitely go check it out. Latest videos. Our collaboration. Nice. Mizuho and Swift blockchain. We dropped so much alpha, and you can see in this video why that whole coexistence agreement with Swift, the clearinghouse was important. Again, Mizuho Bank comes up. Man, this is a fire video we did. The long form one is on my channel, but Shook has condensed it down to you guys to like 37 37 and 47 minutes 37 seconds. Definitely come check this out. And the latest live was 23 hours ago. Swift XCN Dovu. Okay, come check out our brother Shook over here. Like I said, we did the research together with Swift blockchain with Underdog Research Channel. I got a decent wallet and I love it, you know. And let's see here. And like I said, others like Jake Claver, he likes it too. In fact, bro, he was like, I do not like Ledger, and he did not expound on that. So I thought it was really telling that he liked Decent Wallet over Ledger. It made me even more bullish on Decent Wallet. And of course, you know, they're an affiliate partner, and they came on the channel here. And they're based in South Korea, which is a place that's really, really, like, XRP is really bullish there. Here all day, OG Crypto. You still hating on Ruel with his solid background. Oh yeah, I meant to do the different background today. I meant to do the crypto, the breaking news update background. Oh, you and your numbers, Ruel. Yeah, man, I love the gematria, man. Numbers are meaningful. They really are. Just like these logos, they're meaningful. They have meaning behind them. Most people just don't understand that, but it's definitely a thing. Ken Fogery, love lending XRP and XDC on metal lending. Feels like I'm literally a micro bank. There you go. Shout outs to CKJ for putting me on to you. Hey, CKJ, mention my stuff. That's cool, man. Thanks. Shout out to that brother, man. Yeah, definitely check him out too. Let me see if I can pull him up here. I know he mentioned my stuff, man. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. The amount of like people that are cool in this space, it's nice to see, man. It's nice to see. So yeah, definitely check out CKJ Crypto News. I don't know why that's not checked. You see, I am following him. He's following me. Definitely check out, bro. And that's cool. That's cool. Thanks for dropping my name, brother. Appreciate it. I'm just really, he's great. Gary pushed algo at MITC. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Please forgive my ignorance. To transfer $1 billion, how many ZBCN will be needed? A lot. Yeah, ZBCN is not to be. I think it's not designed for that. I mean, you could use it for it, but yeah, that's a calculator problem, bro. I'm not sure why you would be. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I can't give any. I can't give any advice on that. I can't give financial advice on anything like that, bro. I wish you well though. But yeah, ZBCN, they do have their debit cards, and you could do something like that with their debit cards. But I think there is a limit on how much you can transfer. I'm not sure, but yeah. Middle X lending is exciting. Yes, indeed. OG Crypto, and I'm not your your bro all day. I'm Bruce, bro. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Jack Thompson in the house. What's up, brother? Shalom, shalom. Oh man. Oh man. Let's see here. What's up, Tai Thong? Sup, Rue? Let's see here. Brett J, what's up? Let's see here. Yeah, guys, I'm losing my voice up in here, guys. I think we're gonna call it a day here. 2 minutes. Okay, wait, hold on a second. I got some new people in the chat. All right, let me just grab some water, guys, and we'll try to finish out as many comments as we can get to here. Thank you guys so much. Here, just give me a second here because I'm losing my voice. Let me go grab some water. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. Congrats on all your success, Rue. The channel has really bloomed, man. Yes, it has. Very great. I'm very grateful, gracious for that. Thank God. I'm really thankful. Really thankful. What's up, Elon Musk? I agree, Mike is high as a mofo. What's up, bro? What are the Zebec network highlights? I don't think people can afford to miss out on Zebec. The American dream is now $5 million. Maybe the last time you can get your Zebec, especially since October is going to be upping. October is going to be upping out here. What's up, Pizarro? Web3 and AI is the next step for humanity. No matter what happens with price, we're going in the direction this will of travel. Yeah, yep, yes, indeed. The buff has arrived. What's up, 5D Grasses? Each currency has an ISO code to it, 100%. Okay, let's see here. Okay, what's up, Samson Taylor? Up to $8,000 in trash coin. Let's go. Zebec gonna roll into some Zebec. What's a good amount of Zebec to have this run? That's up to you, man. You know what I mean? One of the things we were looking at was definitely the Zebec rich list. I'll bring that up for a second here. I was about to leave the studio. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's remove this. All right, let's stop sharing. I promise, I do this. I do this. Share screen, entire screen. Okay, rich list. So honestly, I think everyone should be a shark out here, but that's up to you. You know, I don't know anybody's pockets or anything like that, but why not if Zebec gets to $1, and you know as Zebec is poised to get to $1 if you've been following the content, why not be a shark? Why not be a shark? This might be the last couple times you see Zebec under a cent, to be honest with you. Why not be a shark? If the American dream costs $5 million, then you probably want to be a shark. Okay? It's up to you. It's up to you, though. Okay, let's come back. Stop sharing. Go back to another thing here. Okay, and crypto market will kickstart the new economy after the bubble burst. The 07 global financial crisis was a bubble. We have surpassed the same 07 threshold again this year. Oh, that's interesting. The plan should be FU money. The scene from the film The Gambler. Yes, I love that scene from the film The Gambler. Oh my gosh, I almost want to play it, but I don't want to get copyrighted. That's a great scene, Pissarro. Yep, the FU money. FU money. I think he said, shout out to John Goodman. He's such a good actor. I think it was 2.2 million, right? That's what he said. FU money is 2.2 million. Sorry I'm late. I'll watch from the beginning. Thank you, David B. Appreciate that. Yep, I just showed the rich list. Yep, I just showed the rich list. Yep. What's up, DJ? Yo, I see KJ and you need to do a co-stream. He's really good for peeps. OG for real. Yeah, I'll reach out to him, man. See if he wants to do a co-stream. I would love to do one with him, man. Yeah, some good people out here, man. Some real good people out here, giving good information to people. And then I feel like every one of these brothers out here deserve like the most views and the most everything, man. People don't know it, but it's hard work coming on YouTube, preparing information for people, you know what I mean? Trying to be entertaining, switching screens, all of this stuff, staying abreast of information and stuff like this. This is not easy. It really isn't easy. And, everybody that does it out here and does it well, man, they deserve like this much and more, man. Be at $1 by March, high end 43 cents, low end. Okay. Can you pull up that rich list again for me? No problem, bro. I got you. Let's stop sharing again and share the entire screen. All right, here we go. Rich list. The Leviathan is 10 plus mil. Whale is 5 to 9, like 5 to 10 million is a whale. A shark is 200K to 5 million. Stingray is 100K to 200K. Sea turtle is 50K to around 100K. Clownfish is 10K to 50K. Seahorse is 10K or less. Like, why not try to get in the shark area? 200K to almost 5 million. Why not be a shark? Why not be a shark out here? We already know that it has, staking. We have staking for ZBCN, but the way it's going right now, where we got the NBA news coming, we got the NBA news coming like very, very soon. October's coming. XRP ETFs are coming. I don't know if you want to stake right now, unless it's ZBCN, you're never going to get rid of. But why not be a shark? Okay, so I got that rich list there. Held it for quite a little bit of time. People want to take screenshots or whatever. Take a screenshot. And this is our Telegram. Shout out to E for posting this in our Telegram. Shout out to him. And there we go. Let me kill this share again. Let me bring up the singular share. Rachel Stryjak, do you follow XCN and ACH at all, Ruel? I do follow XCN. I like XCN. I really like XCN, but you know, I need to do some update shows on XCN. I do. I like XCN a lot. Shout out to our guy Shook Focus Digital. He's one of the premier XCN researchers. So if you guys definitely want to know some, like, I have some videos on XCN. Definitely check out my videos, but also definitely come over here and check out my brother Shook Focus Digital's videos on XCN. Without a doubt, one of the best XCN researchers around out here. Okay, so definitely come check these guys his videos out if you haven't already. So yeah, I'm a big believer in XCN. I'm also a big believer in ACH. I like Zebec a little bit more than I do ACH because of what Zebec is supposed to do. But there's a lot of kind of crossover in use case with ACH and Zebec. And I have a little bit of ACH in a cold storage wallet somewhere. So yeah, I'm definitely a fan of ACH. They're a crypto on and off ramp with fiat for fiat too. A lot to like about ACH as well. But I'm a little bit more high on ZBCN. But yeah, I probably need to go get a little bit more ACH while we're talking about it, to be honest. Nothing wrong with being a seahorse. What's up, 49s, Pie and Silver? Thanks for coming back. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. What's up, FMJ? Never consuming anything after living on a shoestring budget to get this stuff. See, that's what I'm saying, man. Start that comment. Yeah, man, that's the way to be. But man, I know so many people who, you know, they had it and they let it slip, and I just don't want that to happen for anybody out here, man. The American dream used to be 1 million when I was a kid. If you treat Timeline as the next American dream, 10 million, then that's going to be the final goal from this after tax. Yep. If you look at that time, you know, I mean, like, if you look at that timeline, yeah, 10 million might be what you really need out here, to be honest. Yeah, but you know, if we're shooting for 5, and you're going to keep building and stacking and making sure that you, with the passive income, like the things I was just showing you, right? You know, and taking loans against your crypto and things with things like Metallicus and stuff like that. You know, you want to, you know, do everything you can to make sure that, you know, you don't consume and end up in the same place, right? You want to have the passive income coming in. You want to continue to build on your stack. And like Pissarro was saying with the whole FU money from the movie The Gambler, yeah, definitely go look up that movie. You wanna build that passive income. What's up, Trick Turner? We're going into the utility cycle 100%. Just want to make sure I'm not skipping any new people. I know I read a lot of regulars here. Okay. What's up, Zebec to the moon? What's up, ZBCN, man? Yeah, what's your price prediction for the end of the year? End of the year, 15 to 20 cents. Appreciate you coming through, ZBCN, man. Let's see. I hope he knows I got his comment. He might have left. Alex Nunnery, if you had to choose. Ooh. See, again, when I have two choices like that, I do a split. And T. Riley with his ever so faithful $5 super chat. Baby Shark do ZBCN. Call back to the shark and the crypto watch list. Gotta love it. When I have a choice like this, I always do a split. So it could be 50-50, 60-40, 70-30. Hell, you can even throw another little crypto in there and say 70-25-5. You know, so that way, because you never know which one's going to move first, and you don't want to be like, damn it, I knew I should have gotten to this one. I knew I should have, you know, you take all of that out of it. Now you're just like, okay, well, 70% here or 30% here, 60% here, 40% here. Now you got a piece of both. And, you know, one might move before the other. You might even decide, okay, well, Zebec is moving before XPR, and I said 70 on this one and 30 here. Let me move 10% away from that. Now 60, and now I got this. I'm putting the 10% on the mover. You know what I mean? You might want to do something like that, but at least you got a piece of both. You know, that's how I play things. Definitely get the likes up, guys, and yeah, a big nice 3 hour and 11 minute show here, all the way up to like 651 people watching. I really appreciate it. No problem, Alex. Definitely, if you made it to the end, put American Dream in the chat. Not the live chat. Put it in the comments. It helps spread the video around, and we're trying to get to 10K subscribers. Please help me do everything we can to get to 10K subscribers. Tell everybody, share it around, tell your family. Yeah, let's grow the channel, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming through, guys. I'm out. Peace. Australian Dream. I love it.